Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Who the hell does that without asking consent? Even if they thought you were an employee, it doesn't mean they have the right to use you as a mannequin, nor to chase you down. People are crazy. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. A different sort of, is this the right size? Hello, all you fine people. Here's a tale of how I became an in-store mannequin last weekend. I have a particular fondness for t-shirts from a very popular clothing store chain in this part of the world. They're just the right material, the right length, and come in a range of plain color shirts to ones with cartoons printed on them. The store doesn't have an official uniform, but all their employees wear the plain colored version of their polo shirts, jeans, and a name tag. As I said, I'm a fan of the t-shirt, so I was wearing one that day when I decided to stop by and see if they have new hoodies. Sort of a mistake on my part, but my shirt has Snoopy kissing flowers on it, plus I was in a miniskirt and didn't really think I resembled an employee that much. That would be mistake one. So I embarked on my search for the perfect hoodie. Finally found a promising stack in the aisle furthest away from checkout. A couple of tourists, middle-aged women were browsing as well. I edged past them and started sorting through the pile. I also happen to be a lurker over in Tales and Retail, so I know how much workers hate people messing up their clothing stacks. I found a small buried in the middle stack and decided to refold the top hoodies I had to move. Wasn't in a hurry, so why not? Mistake two. The women in the aisle must have thought I was an employee by the folding, which is an understandable mistake. They came up and started asking, "I can't find a small for this." And one of them started shaking a random shirt at me. Figuring it was an honest mistake, I shrugged. "Sorry, I don't work here. Maybe try the front." They blinked at me, then looked at each other like they're slowly processing what I said. Well, I don't have to wait around for them. Picking up my purchase, I started to move away. Then one of them runs after me. "Hey, not done yet." She then takes the shirt and thrusts it at me, only she was holding it up the way you would to see how clothes look on you in the mirror. "My daughter's your size. Does this fit?" The question wasn't aimed at me, it was at her companion. I was ignored as I stood there a little bewildered and not sure how to react. Her friend took this random sizing on a stranger in her stride. Maybe. The other one looked better slim fit? I tried to sidestep away while going, "Excuse me." Woman with shirt dives away to the next aisle without saying anything. At this point, I'm WTFing and try to make it out of the aisle. Suddenly, like a life-size Jack-in-the-Box, lady's back with another shirt. "What about this?" Shirt thrust against my back this time. I whipped around and stared at her. "Look, I don't work here. Also, even if I did, when are employees mannequins?" She looks surprised. "But you work here." She looks behind me at her friend. "She works here, right?" "Oh, for F's sake. No, I don't work here." I began speed walking away, leaving weird, clueless tourist duo behind. Got to the checkout line and thought I was free. Then suddenly I felt something brushing against my back. Turned around and what do you know? Clueless 1 and 2 have trailed me to the checkout and are trying to sneakily hold up shirts against my back for sizing again. So I kinda snapped and raised my voice. "For the last time, I don't effing work here." And that's really damn inappropriate. It looked like the swearing finally clued them in because they recoiled in shock and just stared at me for the rest of my time in line. Of course, my little outburst caught people's attention. When I got to the front, the girl there asked me if everything was okay, so I told her about the weird women. She looked as confused as I felt and told me she's so sorry I got semi-harassed. Managed to exit with my hoodie and no further interactions, but that was one of the weirdest shopping moments I've experienced. And our second story, 50 Cent Throwdown. Today I bring you a tale that comes from a few years back when I was working in a grocery store as a night manager. It had been a fairly busy day, and I was working the help desk when I had one of my employees come tell me there was a crowd of kids around our outdoor pop machine. I look out to see several teenage boys standing by the machine. Now, this machine is temperamental, we know this. As a courtesy, our store will break dollars for people because the vending machine never takes ones. We also will reimburse if the machine steals money, which it often does. This will come into play. Anyway, so 2 of the 7 boys come in and ask for change. By the way, the machine only charges 50 cents for soda. It's the cheapest in town, so we see a lot of kids. I make change for them and then start working on some other things. Pretty soon I hear chanting. I look out the window to see the kids kicking and punching the machine. Then as I rounded the corner, they tried to tip it over. At this point, I'm pissed. I yell at them to leave it alone. They scatter, as kids do, and I come over to inspect the machine. They've dented and scratched the hell out of it and broken one of the toggles. I return inside. About 10 minutes later, the 2 original boys come up to the counter and ask for reimbursement because the machine ate their quarters. I refused to give them anything as they had vandalized my machine. When I told them no, they started having a fit and yelling that there was a sign on the machine saying we would reimburse them. 50 frickin' cents. I then asked them if they knew that, then why did they kick the machine? They denied kicking the machine. I freaking saw you do it. So after another few seconds of their whining, I informed them that unless they left immediately, I would call the police and press charges for vandalism. They left. I thought it was over. Oh no, it was time for the real crazy to be let out of the bag. So going on with our night, scanning cheese doodles and trying not to fall asleep, the phone rings and I pick it up, not realizing the amount of crazy that was about to be unleashed. Me. Hello, thank you for calling. How may I help you? Backcrap crazy woman, BS for short. BS, I would like to speak to a manager. Me. This is her. How may I assist you? BS, are you the B-word who yelled at my nephew and refused to refund his money? Me. Excuse me? BS. I said, are you the effing hoebag B who refused to refund my nephew's money? Me. Ma'am, I do not appreciate your language, and your nephew's behavior was unacceptable. BS. Unacceptable? How dare you steal money from him? Me. At this point, I know nothing good will come from trying to talk to this lady. Ma'am, I'm sorry that you're upset, but I'm going to have to end this conversation as I have customers. Hang up. I'm still trying to wrap my head around this when the phone rings again. Me. Hello? BS. Listen here, you effing trash. Don't you dare hang up on me. Me. Click. The phone begins ringing again, and I ignore it and continue on with helping customers. After 10 minutes of continuous ringing, we put the phone on silent. After 20 minutes, I turn it back on, and it's quiet. Wow. But we are a long way from done. The phone rings, and my coworker answers. After a minute, she calls me over and asks if I'm expecting a call from my sister. No. Why? Me. Hi, BS. Ha, B, thought you could ignore me? Me. WTF. BS, you are gonna pay for not giving my nephew his money back. I know your name and what car you drive. I will find out where you live, and I will make you pay. Me. Click. Ring, ring. Me. Hello. BS. Forget it. I'm coming there now, and you're gonna be sorry. I'm gonna mess you up so bad they won't recognize you. Me. Click. I then call the local police and explain how backcrap crazy this has become. They come to the store and wait for Crazy Pants. Here's where it gets real. She actually shows up, with her nephew in tow. Now, I wouldn't have known who this lady was if the boy had not been with her. I point them out to the officer who intercepts them at the door, and the lady begins screaming and swearing at me. The kid looks like he wants to run. After talking to the police for a few minutes, the police come talk to me and ask about what happened, and I told them. They inspect the pop machine, and I tell them I have video of it as well. BS suddenly breaks free and comes screaming at me like a harpy. I duck as she starts swinging. The police restrain her and drag her to the squad car. Then the boy bolts. The police chase him down, and into the car he goes. I still can't believe all this is over 50 cents. In the end, neither the store nor I pressed charges. No idea why you wouldn't press charges. People like this deserve to be locked up. And our last story. Couple decided to steal a deeded parking space. I work in a place with a deeded parking garage. Each space is owned by a resident, but we only have 75 spots and 300 units. If you don't have a spot, you got to permit park your car on the street or find a parking garage in the neighborhood. Had one sweet old lady, I'll call her Granny, who owned a Mini Cooper and a parking space to go with it. Another couple who rented a unit did not have a parking spot and took to planting their economy car in her spot. When Granny complained, the renters would just say they were entitled because there were so many empty parking places, so Granny could park somewhere else. What the heck did they not get about deeded parking? This continued until the day the sweet old lady decided to be not so sweet. Pulled her car in front of the two grifters' renters' car and parked bumper to bumper, put a note on their car saying parking in this space is $150 a day, please leave a check with the concierge. So the two renters showed up at my desk complaining about their car being blocked off and actually expected me to tow Granny's car off. I had to re-explain that deeded parking meant that I could not tow a car from Granny's spot any more than I could rearrange furniture in her apartment. It's her land. She owns it. You abandoned your car on her property. Talk to Granny. So after 20 minutes or so of the renters complaining, I called Granny, even though it was early in the morning. She came down to the desk in her housecoat and slippers with her dog in tow. They begged her to move her car. Granny told them it'd be $150, leave the check with the concierge. They kept complaining. Then she told them it'd be an extra $50 for waking her up in the morning because they claimed an emergency. Then they asked her how long before she left the garage. Granny told them, "Dearies, I'm retired. I'll leave my spot when I'm ready." And the price just went up to $150 a day plus $50 for waking me, and that will be in cash. Leave the envelope at the concierge. I'm walking my dog, and I'll move my car when I have your rental fee in hand. Not only did the renters never park in her spot again, but Granny got her cash. As an added bonus, the two renters complained so much that word got around, and I didn't have to deal with that issue for another 2 years. People underestimate how much retired people can care about things. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.